Today I am going to share with you an important step which you must do when the purchaser of the immobile property, that means if you are the seller and the purchaser of an immobile property enters into agreement of sale with you and doesn't come forward for completing the sale transaction or performing the agreement of sale, what are the remedies that are available to the owner of the property or the seller of the property, and what is the important step that must be done immediately by the seller of the property? And if at all purchaser is going to court for seeking specific performance of agreement of sale, which is in the legal terms which is called specific performance of the agreement of sale, in those circumstances, what are the important steps that are to be taken by the seller and the purchaser is what I am going to share with you today. So whenever the seller is trying to sell an immobile property, purchaser enters an agreement of sale. If it is registered or unregistered, we are not going to focus on that topic today. Right now, what are the steps that are to be taken if agreement of sale is not performed? I am going to limit this argument only to that extent. Now, let us presume that there are some circumstances, there could be many circumstances, out of which let us conclude that agreement of sale was not performed. In such circumstances, what are the steps that are to be taken by the seller? The seller must, without fail, terminate the agreement in writing by issuing a legal notice. By incorporating all the terms and conditions, the violation of all the terms and conditions by the purchaser, the seller of the property, here carefully, the seller of the property must terminate the agreement of sale before selling to somebody else. Now, the purchaser of the property, if at all he acknowledges the termination notice or the termination letter of the agreement of sale sent by the seller, and if at all the purchaser is approaching court to seeking specific performance of agreement of sale, that is asking the court to compel the seller to come and register the property, if the purchaser receives, listen carefully, if the purchaser receives the termination letter and without questioning the termination letter, if he simply asks for performance of agreement of sale or a specific performance of agreement of sale, then the suit of the purchaser will be dismissed. Because the primary cause of action is the termination of agreement of sale by the seller. So whenever the purchaser is going to the court seeking specific performance of agreement of the sale based on the termination letter must be sought to be declared as illegal. Now the another version of the same situation is if there is no termination letter. If there is no termination letter and the seller is not coming to the court to perform the agreement of sale, then there is no need to seek any relief pertaining to termination of agreement of sale, because there is no cause of action regarding the termination of agreement of sale. When cause of action regarding termination of agreement of sale is there, the purchaser must, without fail, seek declaration against the termination of agreement of sale as illegal. Without seeking that declaration, if he simply seeks a declaration for specific performance of agreement of sale, the suit will be dismissed. Now, what is the role that has to be played when purchaser is not responding against the seller's demand of balance payment of money? In such instances, the seller must invariably send a termination letter terminating the agreement of sale under acknowledgement, and only after that he must go for selling the property to another purchaser. So this step operates to both the seller and the purchaser in a different way. If the seller doesn't terminate the agreement, purchaser has to question the agreement itself. If the seller terminates the agreement, purchaser has to question the termination along with seeking a declaration to perform the agreement of sale. Hope I am clear. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, kindly comment.